90s or thereabouts about some issues that he had intervened with.
Bill Wilson, who founded AA, who I know, because I wrote a book on heroin addiction when I first met him. When you talk to someone who's an addict, he's always talked about someone recovering. But propofol is not a drug that we commonly see addicted. It's now being abused more than everything ever since it's been mentioned.
How do you go get it?
You get it by prescription. It's not really controlled that well, but you must be controlled with what's called a pulse oximeter, knowing the heart rate and all those things while you use it.
Do you think, Dr. Klein, that he could have done 50 concerts?
I think he was in great physical condition. I think the autopsy showed that he was in great physical condition. And I think he was, he was not this person without a nose that was portrayed initially in the press. The press has been hysterical, and the press has been so sensational about me, about everything. There's no truth in the press anymore. I mean, there's no truth anywhere anymore in what you read. So I think he was totally capable of doing this. But they wanted to show him as a meek individual. Michael was far from meek. Michael was probably one of the most talented, strong people I've ever met.
Richard, is Dr. Klein in any civil trouble?
No, I don't think he's in any civil trouble. I don't think there's any connection between any procedures or medical care that was given by Dr. Klein in the several months leading up to Michael Jackson's death and the actual cause of death. And that would be the threshold that one would look at to determine.
Dr. Garrow, has anyone officially said to you he is cleared?
No, no one has said so, but silence speaks for itself as well. I will reserve judgment, but I have continued on with my duties, and the more I have uncovered, the more I have felt comfortable.
Have I been helpful with the investigation?
Well, Dr. Klein has been more than any kind.
Would you say you'd be shocked if he was charged with anything?
I would be shocked, yes.
So take a break. We'll be right back with Arnold Klein and with Dr. Klein and Garrow Gazarian and Richard.
I want to make sure we get Chad.
Word up, the HDL back here. We're giving a report.
Yes, I just want to say that
right now we're at
comes in at the bottom of the
midnight,
hour.
October
An exact emotional
17th,
expression of where we're at today.
at 12:08 a.m. We're just listening to, of course,
Okay.
throwback to the Cash Flow episode,
Just for the record, it's
the October 14th edition.
his song. She thought he was a muffin man. She thought he was a man, but he was a muffin. And that was on an album, came out in 1975, called Bongo Fury. She thought he was a man, but he was a muffin. You can say, I was just saying that now, the first stage of the post-information society, the subjectivity that people created and thought they were relating to, what they didn't know was that the android meme wasn't a man, wasn't talking to you, it was a muffin. And now the muffin has been eaten, and so you're going into phase 2 of the post-information society. The android meme itself is saying, gosh, it's a post-information society. Okay? Mm-hmm. So there was nothing to say over the last, say, a few years.
Egypt to the west.
If you spoke before that, in phase 1 of the post-information society, that was absorbed by the android meme. So that no one was there relating to your chemical body utterings. Now the android meme is saying it's a post-information society. All right? It's not saying it to you. It's not saying to you. But when the android meme isn't even talking to itself, then the chemical body, the astral body, and whatever else we are, notices something new is happening. So now what's the second part? So I'm defining 2 phases of post-information society there. You see what I'm saying? There was the first phase, which what I call the android meme, and people thought the android meme was talking to them. That would be the wonderful abundance since 1982 in the economy. They thought the abundance was directed at them, people that they were making money. But the android meme was making money. Then the android meme stopped making money a year ago, and that was a post-information society for it. All right? Mm-hmm. And so when that happens, people realize that there's nothing to connect their creativity, their thinking, their subjectivity to. And that would cause incredible fear, because most people naturally try to relate themselves to some other person or a group of information patterns, because how can you know yourself? You only know yourself through another. you look at someone when you're talking to them, and how they react to you is how you know yourself.
Right.
Right? That's normal cognitive process. Now there's nothing for you to look at. I remember you telling me 6 months ago, you overheard these guys, businessmen in a restaurant, talking about they didn't know where to invest. They didn't know what was investable.
We got the book. We're investing some time in reading. Static Communion of Bob Dobbs.
You remember that? And that's going on all the time. So we're now at a point, if time is your creativity, you create something and judge how you've done, and there's no time, there's no money. We're really in a strange situation that's not knowable. You have no way to translate it back through another person or an environment to yourself. That's why we're saying we've actually arrived at the mystery landscape. That's why you have that young Yale student inside a wall.
Right,
How the heck
that's
did
right.
this person get inside a wall? And there were stories saying, no, it was a closet and she was there and this and that. All wrong. She was in a wall and there was no explanation how she got there. That kind of phenomenon is going to happen more and more. Now, the chip body and the Android being still here, still churning away. Now, let's go into the second part of Chad's question.
If everything is perceived, targeted, and engaged, then what is the future of the image, or rather, what is the post-information age image?
No, you're blipping out. Do it again.
Oh, if everything has been perceived, targeted, and engaged, then what is the future of the image, or rather, what is the post-information age image?
Do you know that you're fragmenting?
No, I don't know.
Put down your credit card
connection, but
form rank, and dig deep with us. Petition your local members of government. Network. Share. Use the resources on the website, and let's march forward as a collective, united group that can and will stop this encroaching agenda. You are not an animal that needs to be branded. You are not a product that needs to be identified. You are not a number. Send a strong and united message to Verichip, IBM, Raytheon, and all the other companies that wish to enslave you and your family, that we the people will not be chipped. This isn't only a privacy issue. This is a human rights issue. To IBM, Verichip, Raytheon, we state loudly and clearly, we will not let history repeat itself. We the people will not be chipped.
We will not be chipped. RFID chips could be coming in. We got addictions going on. We're not quite sure. This study here that we got going on is an ongoing Larry King Live investigation of what happened to the Prince of Pop, the King of Pop, the Majesty, the Royal Highness, Mr. Michael Jackson. We got some people talking on that subject. We got CKLN back. We got the Achieve Radio Archive Vault.
Maybe it's you.
And we're just thinking about things.
No, but maybe, I don't know what it is, but I'll read it again. If everything has been perceived, targeted, and engaged, then what is the future of the image, or rather, what is the post-information age image?
You're breaking up. I think I should call back, James.
All right, call back in. I'll have my producer there handle it, but everybody, go ahead and hang up, call back in. For those of you that may or may not be hearing this,
We got a call back in situation, technical difficulties.
Heard it in its entirety or not. But the question is, there's two questions actually that need to be addressed. If everything has been perceived, targeted, and engaged, then what is the future of the image, or rather, what is the post-information age image? What is it now? And this is coming from, shall we say, one of our very briefed, well-informed listeners, Chad in New York. And there's another message, actually, that's coming up that I will address as well as soon as I get it back on the line, is coming from Bob Marshall. And the message is, Bob, what's the difference between monitoring, participating, and watching? And I'll have them address that as well. Meanwhile, for those of you that are hopefully are still hearing all of this, I think just having some minor technical difficulty. But usually, as in the past, as I've always said this, when Bob gets on any network, because I've been on with him on other networks, there's
CKLN?
Audio interference, some interference in terms of communication. So
we're hearing interference. We got stuff going on everywhere. Things are looking up. This is it. We got the end of October, and we still down, thinking about things, thinking about what's going on. Of course, there's always the ultimate battle going on, of course, right and left, love and hate, and the man is coming to town. King Tut will be in. Word out, shout out to the manifesto. We got one city, we got Toronto represented. Word out, peace, much respect.